right, hey guys, how's it going today? We are out here with Jerry. And Jerry, do you have a YouTube channel? Forgot to ask you.
Well, just the Toma Area Power Sport YouTube channel is the only one I got, so.
Okay, he's got the Toma Area Power Sport YouTube channel, so we will put a link in the description or in the card up here, wherever you want to find it. And you guys know the dealership because I do a bunch of first rides with the Toma Area Power Sport where Jerry works at. So you'll be seeing some more of, plenty more of those videos coming out, and hopefully we have some extra content for the winter too for you guys. As you know, we're up here in Wisconsin, so riding in the winter time is
not ideal.
Yeah, not the best. New bikes with salt on the roads isn't going to happen. Freezing our butts off. So today we've got a shootout for you guys. We've got a 2019 Yamaha Yz450 Supermoto conversion here for you, and we've got a 2019 same year Suzuki DRZ400, and this is the SM obviously because this factory Supermoto with all the lights and everything and the gold spoked rims. This bike, the YZ, has Warp 9 Elite tubeless tires on it. Yeah. So the tires on these are Michelin Pilot Power 2 CTs on the YZ. The front on the DRZ is the same, but the back, the previous owner put the GPR 300 on this guy, which actually felt okay when I've been riding it.
I know for the most part that I could lock that rear end up pretty easily and it slid. So
yeah, so we've got let's see here, about 50 hours in this bike, and that bike's kind of high mileage. So that bike's got like 13,000 on it, I believe, something like that. Yeah, I think 13.5. And yeah, there's about 50 hours in this. I believe about maybe 1,800 miles. I think it said before I had to switch the battery on the Vapor. It's got a Vapor on it. So yeah, okay. We're gonna take these out on a ride here, and then when we come back, we'll do like a little montage here of the ride. It's some awesome fall colors right now, if you can see in the background, so we'll do a bit of a montage. And then as we're talking about the bikes, like our final thoughts and stuff, I'll do some video over the back of that too, so you guys can see what we're talking about. And we might have some close-ups and stuff in here too, and exhaust sounds and all the good stuff. So we'll see you guys in a second. Fires right up. The carburetor is really good on this. Woo. Maybe one more. Oh my gosh. That's probably overdriving the mic. This thing is mega loud. Here's how the motor sounds. This thing runs good. This thing's putting a rapid. Yeah, it's good. A momentum bike. This bike you can get up and go.
Yeah, this I'm impressed with it. Definitely like a 6-year would be nice. You know? Otherwise, I mean, it feels good. Yeah. top end is pretty gnarly.
Guys, we are back from the ride here with the DRZ400 and the Yz450, and we're gonna talk about the well, first let's talk about the similarities, I guess, right? So similarities, they're both supermotos.
Yeah,
that's about where it ends.
Yeah, it is a lot more different than you would think between the two bikes.
Yeah, it's well, I guess you can start with the weight on these. The weight is what, about 240 pounds wet on this guy, and that's 312.
Yeah, in between 310, 320, I think.
So this almost has 100 pounds in this bike, maybe like 80.
Yeah, it's definitely significantly lighter on that end.
Could you feel it when
yeah,
you're riding?
Absolutely. I didn't think I would notice it as much as I did, but hitting turns on ET, you know, I'm riding how I was riding this thing, and I'm like, oh, I have to completely change what I'm doing.
Yep. Yeah, this thing is the power on these guys is what's the DRZ have?
About 32 horse, 18 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah, and this is 50 horse and 30 foot-pounds of torque. So this has as much torque as that has horsepower.
Yeah.
And this is 80 pounds lighter. Now, we'll insert a clip here of our, maybe I'll do it as a montage. We'll see. We raced a couple times, right? And let's just say the first time you destroyed me out on ET out there. Yeah, you just walked away. The second time, did you maybe you missed a gear or something, or was it just?
I didn't take off as hard the second time.
Okay.
I just kind of rolled into it light, and then.
And this actually kept up okay, but
yeah.
I was like full bore, like power band.
Yeah, I didn't get into it that hard the second time.
Yeah, but yeah, this just basically walks away. And let's see, what else is the same? They both have brakes that work. I mean, there's just so much differences.
Right.
Okay, let's get into the differences. So the differences here. We mentioned the weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was up on the ridge up there? What did you feel between the two?
I felt that thing definitely handles and has a lot more power. It's faster. It does it better. Mm-hmm. You know. This does a little bit smoother, more comfortable, I would say.
Yes.
By far.
We can talk about the comfort of the seats. The seat on this.
There might as well not be a seat on it, because that's what it feels like. It feels like you're sitting on the frame.
This is definitely like a 2x6, you guys. So wait, let me get here. I'll get a little B-roll so you guys can see. Totally got bugs biting me out here. All right, here's the seat, you guys, on this thing, right? This is a Thrill Seekers cover. I looked this up, and this is like the original seat with a different cover on it, so it's more grabby for them stunt games, right? Stunting. Okay, so that's a 2x6, and then here's the Suzuki stock seat, and this thing is like a comfort couch compared to that. Wouldn't you say?
It blew my mind, actually, especially after starting on the DRZ, going to the YZF, and then coming back. I was like, wow.
It's just so much more. I mean, you can see here,
a lot more plush to it.
Yeah, and then you come over here. This feels like it might have some give. Like when I went to buy the bike, I was like, oh, this isn't going to be too bad. Sit down.
It's just a triangle in between your legs.
Yes. And when you go to the one positive thing I will say about, we're begging on the seat, but if you like to hang off the bike, get your butt off, this isn't sticky.
Yeah.
So, not really. So like you can hang off, but with my leathers on, it just sticks right to that seat. So I'm like squeak.
Right.
So this is better for aggressive riding.
Yeah.
I mean, the seat is, you know. What do you think about the difference in brakes on them?
I feel like the brakes on this are good. I think just the weight of that bike makes braking so much easier.
Yeah.
I feel like I can take corners, come into corners where I have to brake a lot faster on that bike than this. I feel like it's kind of an on-off, especially that rear. And I don't know if it's paired with the tire where I just get to a point that it starts to lock up a little bit, because I did it more than a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The weight transfer on this too, I noticed. You just tap this, and it's like, whoop,
yeah.
the weight transfer is like right away.
Yep.
On that, the brakes are more progressive.
Yes.
Not bad.
No, not by any means, no.
It's more like a progressive feel. Like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Here, you're like immediate, boom, immediate power. Maybe I could replace the fluid in those. These are both 19s. I can't imagine the fluid's been replaced in these. I checked this one. The fluid was clean and full on this.
Yeah.
That one I haven't checked yet. I don't think I opened that one. But yeah, I mean, both the brakes work. They're both good. But this is more aggressive, like you said, and it's way lighter.
And that's the biggest thing I think with the braking and the handling is it's so much lighter. I mean, it's huge.
And what do you think of the power difference?
Night and day.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is a smooth. It's responsive. I mean, and it seems like even downshifting and everything, engine braking is way less aggressive.
Yep.
You know, you can really ride out gears with this thing.
Yep.
That is just on off. I mean,
it's the YZ, not the WR, so it's a close ratio too.
Yep.
Wait.
Yes.
You're right there.
Yep.
The top end of this is what, maybe 75? Maybe.
Yeah, 75? I know. I got about mid 70s. I was close to 80. I know.
But it's starting to scream.
Yeah.
Like,
and I was feeling bad at that point where I'm like, yeah, we should lay off a touch.
Yep. So top speed on that, I think it says on mine it's about like 90 miles an hour.
I believe it. I know it said 83, I think, at one point.
Yeah, so there's quite a bit more top end on this, on the DRZ, but this gets there way faster.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the story between them, I think, is like, that's a livable motorcycle you can buy and insure and put in your garage for a reasonable price. This is like a demonic pogo stick. You know, I mean,
100%. Yeah.
It doesn't have to. You don't have to do wheelies like on this. You don't have to.
No.
You got some good. Put some clips here. You got some quick. Some
a little
pops,
bit, yeah.
Some good pops on this. Neither one of us are wheelie stunt guys, just so you guys know. Which is kind of an irony doing Supermoto stuff. We ride. He does a lot of. You have a KLR. You do a lot of off-road stuff.
Yep.
And I'm like a sport bike, naked bike kind of guy. I've just been getting into Supermotos. You've been doing off-road stuff for quite a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah, and well, on-road, off-road, the KLR is, which is an incredible video. I'll put a link in to the other KLR video here for you from the dealership, which is already out. Yes, it is. And yeah, so let's see here. What would you, if you're going to ride for, let's say you're going to go out and ride for an hour for fun, which one would you take?
100% this
really,
one.
for an hour? You would?
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on the setting, I suppose. If I was on a track for an hour, it would be that bike.
Okay.
But
like the go-kart track.
Yeah.
It would be really fun at a go-kart track.
Yeah. And I guess it depends where I'm riding. You know?
For like the kind of stuff we were doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to an extent. I mean, I was very uncomfortable on that at first. I think, because it's new to me.
So
yeah. But once you get into it and you get a little loose on it, I probably could have rode it for a bit longer than we did. I mean, it's fun. It's a riot.
And there's such a difference in the suspensions between the two. I didn't think about it until you AD it. Right?
Yes.
So what do you think of that?
It's borderline comfortable.
Yeah.
It's plush. It handles pretty well. There's not a ton of dive to it, but it definitely moves a little bit. I adjusted it a little bit. I softened up the compression because I don't know if you noticed at high speed, I guess I can mention this, when you're up to 60, 70 and you let off, the front had this jacking problem where it used to be way worse. So I lightened up on the compression a little bit because it felt like the rebound and compression was fighting each other. And now it's a little bit better, but it still needs to be. I had that feeling a couple of times on that one.
Oh, really?
Coming into
I haven't touched. So this is.
Yeah, I know.
That was stock settings when I messed with it. But
I know higher speeds coming into like uneven road grades where there's a repair in the road or something like that. I would come in and I could feel the front end respond a lot.
This is really stiff.
Yeah, it's extremely stiff.
Yeah, compared to this, this is like you can tell you go out some jumps with this,
right?
Which is what it's made for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess people do jump DRZs a little bit.
Yeah.
Not extreme, not like super cool.
Right.
Stuff, but people do take these off, and it's okay if you stiffen up the forks and stuff in the suspension, I guess. But this is like you said, it's comfortable.
Yeah. No, this is a bike I could ride all day without issue. Yeah. I mean, it all depends if we're going for, I suppose, if we do what we just did, I think I'd rather be on that one.
Just for like an hour rip.
Yeah. Yep. Just, a good, 30-mile rip, whatever it was.
Yep.
But,
Go ahead.
Yeah, if I was going to commute, it would be that one. If I was going to ride it to work, you know, it would be this.
So if you were going to buy one of these, I got one other question after this too, but if you were going to buy one of these, which one would you buy if it was like, let's say all costs?
Yeah, if money was no option, it'd be the YZF.
Buy this, really, if you're going to buy one. I wasn't expecting that, really.
I think just because of the nature of the Supermoto, you know, you get the performance, you get the way it is, the way it handles, you know, it's something you take to the track right off the bat, whereas I would have to do a lot more work to this.
Yeah. So you're looking for something more hardcore.
I think so. Yeah, man, that's exactly it. Yep.
Yeah, and for me, since I don't have a dual sport or anything, I would take a brand new DRZ because we're looking for different things.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you prefer this guy?
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you think either one of these a beginner could ride? Because everyone always asks that question. Is it so? Either of these would you?
This one, yeah. That one, no, not a chance.
On this one, you would absolutely whiskey throttle yourself into the sun.
Yeah.
This thing as a new rider.
And the height too is another factor in that.
Yep.
You know, even me, I'm 33-inch inseam, not super tall, but I'm used to a tall bike.
Yep.
Even getting on and off of that, I was like, wow, this is a little ridiculous. So.
And you're definitely not getting both feet down on this bike. On this, you can kind of tip both feet. This is like you scooch your boat over the left side and put your foot down.
Yeah.
That's what this is because it's tall. But yeah, a beginner could ride this, and I think you can. Yeah, you can also get lowering links for these if you want.
Yeah,
I don't like lower bikes, but you could.
So much out there for aftermarket. Yeah. I know for a fact they have lowering links, different suspension setups, all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
I've seen stretch DRZ Supermotos.
Really?
Yeah. Which is an odd trend, but.
The aftermarket support for the DRZ is, we were saying earlier, is like the Yz450, right? There's stuff everywhere for these. Used stuff, eBay stuff, aftermarket, third party. You can buy a whole set of plastics for this, which this one needs plastics because the previous owner was a stunter, you can see, or something, and got some gains. Or did some wheelies and looped. So this needs some rear plastics here. I can get a full set for like $100 with no decals. But yeah, I mean $100, and that's good stuff. Like what do you call it? How do you pronounce it?
A Cerbis or
Acerbis?
Yeah.
Acerbis?
A Cherbis?
Like I don't know. We're just making up words now. I'm kidding. Yeah, so you can get a full set of plastics here for $100, basically 150. Yeah, and this, I do have the stock plastics for this too, the Yamaha plastics. This is aftermarket black plastics, but I do have the stock ones. But yeah, you can get, that's the nice thing about Supermotos. I've been getting in more into Supermotos. Yeah. Is if you go down or something, you set of plastics plus decals for $50 maybe. Yeah. Those bikes in there.
Yeah, not a chance.
You go down on sport bikes, you're talking hundreds of dollars, or the bike's total if it's a new bike.
Yeah.
You know, you get a scratch on something on the case or something. Good luck. These you can go down with. It's got handguards in this, and basically, unless your levers are broken or something, you can just pick it up and drive home.
Right, and that's the beauty of it is that's going to be a lot easier to pick up, even compared to this. Yeah. And compared to those, you know.
I had a tip over on the 19 Speed Triple, which was on the channel here, the white one, and sold that now. I told the guy I tipped over, but yeah, I could not pick it up on my own.
Yeah.
Because I was on a dirt road and the incline was like this, and the bike was laying like that, you know, and it was like just to get it up on the wheels and over that tipping point. And I even put my butt up against the seat and everything, but it was gravel, so I was like sliding
away. Yeah.
It was impossible, so I had to get somebody to help me with it. But with these, pick it right up.
Yeah, and even if you were in an awkward situation like that, you can just grab it by the handlebars and drag it out to where where I would feel terrible doing that to most street bikes, you know.
Yeah, and these things are a bit scratched up and stuff because of their, you know, their Supermotos. Yeah. Or their dirt bikes, but you know, that's the nature of a dirt bike. Right. So let's say you're a new rider and you get one of these and you drop this a couple times and there's some scuffs like you see there and stuff. When you go to sell it, nobody cares.
Right.
Not really. Like,
that's what they expect when they're buying these bikes. Yeah. They know.
Like I rolled up to the seller and saw all this and whatever. It ran and rode good. It's like whatever.
Yep.
Give them the money. It was in good shape, you know. It's a 19. So yeah, that's the thing too. You won't feel bad about, well, probably won't feel bad about dropping one of these unless you buy a brand new one from the dealership for $7,000.
Right.
You might, but you know, it gets scuffed up, and then before you go to sell it, just buy new plastics for $100. You can just sell it.
It's crazy what resale value will do when you put new plastics on one of these. You know.
Yeah, I've seen some older DRZs like 05, 06s with like nice brand new set of black plastics with yellow graphics, and they're asking like $5,000 for them, $4,000 for them, and it's super old, but it looks sweet, so people will buy it, and the gold rims don't hurt either, you know. Okay, so before we do our final thoughts here, Jerry hadn't brought up something here. Go ahead with the maintenance intervals.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be doing so much more maintenance on a high performance bike made for, you know, motocross versus this that has normal street driven characteristics to it. So
yeah, the maintenance on, I just did an oil change in both of these. That one is, this is 1 quart of oil. That's 2 quarts.
yeah,
that is what every, guys who are conservative, I guess, do like every 1,500 miles.
yeah. I think 3,500 is the interval for it, something like that.
If you're beating on it a lot,
yeah,
maybe a couple thousand,
right?
But you know, 3,000, you'll be okay. You're not going to kill it.
Yep.
With this, it's only 1 quart. This is an easy job to do here for the most part. There's 2 drain plugs in there, but this is what, every 5 hours?
Yeah,
4 hours or something.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I'm not 100% versed on the YZ, but
okay. So when you're street riding, I've heard a lot of people say that you can extend the maintenance intervals in these as far as valve checks and stuff, because who was just telling me about that? That when you go off jumps, it was a former racer that I was talking to. What really beats these up, the valves, is going off jumps and then the throttle's wide open and then everything slaps inside the motor, bam, 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 in the cylinder because you're up in the air and there's no load, and then that's what really beats the crap out of the valves. But when you're riding on the road, that just never happens because you're not going off jumps.
Right.
It's not usually, unless you find one somewhere.
Every once in a while.
You're not ramping off jumps and then everything's slapping inside from no load, open throttle, right? So the valve checks on these, from what I've heard of other guys online, they basically they don't do them forever. Some of them would do 100 hours on these with Supermotos in the street.
Yeah.
And they're fine. They check them and they're still fine. So now, should you do that? Probably not, but people do it.
Right. And they are easy enough, I feel, to work on with dirt bikes. I mean,
but the oil change interval is it's a killer on this.
Yeah.
So you're going to be putting a fresh coat of oil in this. Let's say you go out for a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, you ride a couple hours each day. What are you doing afterwards?
Right. Yeah.
Right. You're changing the oil. Whereas on that, you can go. I mean, if you put 3,000 miles on in a couple months or whatever, depending on how much you ride, you.
And these are a staple for reliability too. Mm-hmm. I mean, they are bomb proof.
That's interesting. This is probably, I would say, at least from what I've seen and heard, this is probably the most reliable performance dirt bike as far as maintenance intervals and just reliability of the motor. And that is probably the most bomb-proof street-going Supermoto dual sport, right?
Yep.
Interesting. That's the case. That's what I've heard. The YZ, especially the WRs. Like if you're gonna do Supermoto conversion on a 450 like F Yamaha type thing, you should probably do it on the WR.
Yeah.
Like after riding this YZ, the transmission is so close ratio. It's so frantic. Like.
I haven't ridden a WR450, but I did have that WR250, the factory Supermoto, and that thing was a pooch. This thing would destroy it.
Really?
I mean, that thing couldn't have had 25 horsepower.
Wow. I've never been on a WR250.
It was a fantastic bike. It was set up for stunting. I mean, it was very much a stunt bike, but...
So this is like twice the power of that.
Oh, by far.
And it's geared down too.
Yep.
All right, so... which one did I say? Which one would I take? I guess if I was going to go get a new one, I would take the DRZ400 because I don't have this kind of bike already, like a dual sport Supermoto type thing. Whereas you have a KLR.
Yeah.
So
I think if I was going to buy, I have been looking at buying a DRZ400 DS, the dual sport, just so I can have a lighter dual sport bike.
Yeah.
Because the KLR is not always the easiest to ride off road, but.
Yep. Yeah, you could put those other. I got dirt wheels for this bike too, and you could put those dirt wheels in this bike, and you could rip your face off. And
Absolutely.
Destroy single track.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you can do anything. This is the 240 pound 450 with dirt tires would basically go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You can go through rivers with this thing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You would not have many issues.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Should we just do final thoughts and be done?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we noticed any glaring differences? Oh yeah, the exhaust is. I'll probably just edit this in, but yeah, the exhausts on these. Okay, I'll just ask you. What did you think of the? This has a Delkavic exhaust and this has an FMF on it. So what did you think of the?
I prefer the sound of the FMF by far, but again, it's the 450 sound.
Yeah. It's so freaking loud.
That is loud.
It's so loud, you guys.
And I feel like that's every Delkavic exhaust I hear is okay sound, but it's definitely just
just scream
in your face all the time.
I went to ride this once for like a half an hour with no plugs in, came back with a headache.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, we both had earplugs in riding these things. So
this you could do without earplugs. You'd probably be okay. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
That, it just screams at you.
Yeah, it's loud.
Yeah, it's bad. All right, so final thoughts here on the two bikes. I enjoy riding both, but like you said, they're so different.
Right.
This is more of like, if you want to rip your face off for half an hour, you live close to a ridge, which I do, which you do here too.
Yep.
So we live close, we're in the driftless area, so we can go, we have like 5 minutes, you go rip your face off on some ridges, right? Or 25 minutes, 30 minutes down to Wildcat. So this is cool in this area. But if you got to ride like a half an hour to go to fun roads, you're going to have a pain on this. Like you're going to...
Yeah, this by far.
Yeah. I mean, you could put a better seat on this. You could maybe throw a couple bags or something, you know, try to get there. But the oil change intervals and stuff, just riding the extra hour,
right?
You're going to want to haul it there, right? So if you want to ride for an hour and then you can get the S version, do some single track, do some back roads riding and stuff. The DRZ400 is much more livable. It's softer. It's easier to ride. The seat's more comfortable, right? It's just easier to live with. But if you want to rip your face off, the converted 450 Supermotos, they'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, they'll do it. And obviously a competitor for this is like the Husky 701.
Yeah.
The KTM 690. They're more livable. They're more expensive.
I think that would more likely compare it like the 690 and 701. I think would be closer to this just because it's kind of made a little bit more for riding in between.
It's like a bigger version of that. Lower with more extended service intervals.
Yeah, twice the horsepower.
Yeah, but they're what, like 12, 13 grand or something like that?
Yeah, they are pricey. I mean, I think you can almost buy 2 brand new DRZs for the cost of one of those. But
that's the thing. And these are about brand new. These are what, 7, 8-ish?
450?
Yeah, are they?
Probably about 10.
Oh, they're 10 now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the used prices and the value on these. Yeah, so the new ones are like 10. So the price on these is getting close to the Husky stuff, the KTM stuff, actually. Yeah. But it's just a totally different, it's a different setup, different suspension.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a stiff, true dirt bike turned to Supermoto. The Husky stuff, KTM stuff is more like that.
Right.
Twice the horsepower.
Yeah.
Right? All right, so if you guys got any questions for us, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below, and we will answer whatever we can. We're not experts, but this is just kind of a seat of the pants review of these two bikes for you guys from like guys that aren't Supermoto like junkie specialist guys. Like I've ridden a bunch of bikes. Jared's ridden a bunch of bikes. We've ridden a lot of stuff. He works at dealerships, so we've both ridden tons of stuff. But we're not Supermoto specialists. So this is like for the guy who's looking to get into Supermotos, or what are they like from a perspective of a street rider, that type of stuff. You know, it's not like we're professional racers or something, but that's okay because not everybody is. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you like and subscribe, and then check out the Toma Area Power Sports YouTube channel and Facebook. I'll put some links down below too for Jerry. Yeah. And then subscribe to their stuff too. And if you're in the area, as I say in videos that have you guys involved in them, it's the end of 24, at least right now. We'll see when this comes out. They may still have some left when this comes out, but they've got deals, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, we got all kinds of deals right now.
Yeah, they're trying to move the 24, so they get all kinds of rebates.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, so make sure you check them out if you're in the Wisconsin, the Toma area here. And yeah, excellent place, new dealership this year. And you guys they got side by sides and watercraft, and all kinds of stuff. So, all right, we will see you guys in the next video. I think we're gonna go out and ride a couple more bikes before it gets dark here, so we gotta stop talking about this stuff. See you guys later. Bye, everybody.